So I'm hoping that you guys will just go through the different books and courses that I'm recommending, and a lot of them you can buy from your local bookstore, or I'll give you guys the links down below. Hey there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, my goal is that at the end of this video is to be able to give you the top 10 books and courses that I really recommend that you go through and study if you want to become a virtual assistant. Now, if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I have been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own outsourcing business here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to run a business from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. A lot of the books and courses on this list are paid. As awesome as it would be for me to give you guys more free resources, you guys do have my whole YouTube channel, so I'm hoping that you guys will just go through the different books and courses that I'm recommending, and a lot of them you can buy from your local bookstore, or I'll give you guys the links down below. Now, one of the biggest things that you guys probably might have known about me, might not have known about me, depends on if you guys go into my Instagram or not, is I'm a huge bookworm. I read a lot of books, and I also consume a lot of courses. In the last 10 years, both as a freelancer and as an employer, I've been able to create different training paths for people based on what it is that they need. So this list really is for virtual assistants, or if you're an employer yourself, what training to give to your virtual assistant. So make sure to watch until the end of this video so you can get that full list and why I think you should study it as a virtual assistant. Now, the top book I recommend that you study as you're getting started is the book Getting Things Done by David Allen. The reason why that's such a top book that I really recommend is that it gives you a really good framework on how to prioritize, how to look at your tasks, how to make sure that you get things done. Hence the title of the book. So it gives you a really good background, really, of what to expect, how to react to things, how to manage certain things. And my own favorite part of this framework is how to be able to know that you should do this task instantly or to wait a little bit. And it also gives you that if you've never created a task dashboard before or organized your task list in some way, this book will give you that good framework. So again, you can know where to get started, what to put off for later, or what to focus on at that moment. Next is a really good book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. So this book will give you a really good mindset, basically. So if you're someone who is new to working online or you have no experience at all, I highly recommend this book for a couple of reasons. The main one is it teaches you the difference between having a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. It will give you that good background of how you can be more flexible at work and even flexible in life. So a lot of the concepts that is taught, and I actually just listened to this book myself. I listened to it an audiobook on a trip, and I finished it by the time that the bus arrived where we were supposed to go. At the end of that, I was like, yeah, and at that point I was already doing self-development for a couple of years, and I was like, this is a really good book, and I still recommend it a lot to people who are just starting out, because it gives you that concept of what does it look like if I have this really adaptive mindset versus a fixed mindset, and what is the pros and cons to both. The next book that I could recommend, and I actually already recommended this in a previous video that I did on books to study, is the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, this book changed my life. It changed the way that I, as an introvert, saw the world and how I treated people. That book really is really old, actually, but the concepts still hold true. My top 3 favorite tips from that book is smile, like smiling at people. 2 is remembering people's names. And 3 is to never criticize. You're not a fool. You should not criticize. So those are the concepts that I loved from it, that I've learned from, that I've carried over in the last 6 years since I've read that book. And it's something that I just sometimes just flip through and read from time to time. So that book is really kind of a good guide if you don't have really good communication skills, if you're someone who struggle with making friends and trying to influence people, or if, like me, 6 years ago when I first read that book, I was an introvert and I had no idea really how to make friends. That book gave me a really good framework of where to get started, and it's carried me over to how I interact with clients, how I interact with our assistants, and really has helped me become more confident in myself almost every time that I reread it, or like I said, flip through the pages for myself. Now, those are the top 3 books for mindset. I'm gonna go through a bunch of courses that I think would really help you, especially if you're just getting started on this work from home journey. And the first course that I recommend is my own. So I have a course on Work From Home 101 where I really literally deep dive step-by-step process of how to get started working from home. Now, it's in courseware.ph. You guys can go to leonlai.com/workfromhome101. And like I said, it's a really deep dive course on how you can get started. I really map out, okay, if I was to do this all over again, what would that look like? Knowing what I know, then let's say I didn't have all of the resources that I have, what would it look like for me to start all over again? And I really dive into that. I recorded that course just this year, so you guys, you know that it's fresh information. It's one of the top advice that I do give a lot to people who become my career mentees. Now, if you guys don't want to do the intensive just yet, I do have a Work Anywhere challenge where in 10 days, I teach people how to work from home. Now, this is kind of just a kind of floater edition versus the Work From Home 101. I really make Work Anywhere challenge and then the Work From Home 101 course. And so a lot of the things that I learned from doing the first one, I put in the second one. But if you guys just want to do a quick one, okay, I just want to finish this in 10 days, then that's the course that I do recommend. I do give you guys a better overview of what things look like when it comes to working from home, and give you guys a lot of tips that I've learned in the last 10 years, and also different things that I recommend that you can go through as well. So again, Work From Home 101, more intensive. Work Anywhere challenge, more kind of just light. Just get it done, just dive into the homework, versus Work From Home 101 is really just like giving you guys more and more concepts. So again, depending on what you need right now, you can get access to both. Now, another course that I really recommend, and we're now diving into more skill specific, is SEO training. Now, you might be wondering, as a virtual assistant, why would you need SEO training? Now, the biggest reason for this is really when you are starting out online, you want to be able to be found. And SEO, or search engine optimization, is being able to be found in these different places. If you want to be found on Instagram, you have to put in a couple of keywords to make sure people know what it is that you do. Same thing with LinkedIn, same thing with YouTube. How you guys found this video is through SEO. So one of the courses I recommend is SEOtraining.ph. I actually have a code below that you guys can use if you guys want to sign up for that, and I would really love it if you guys do. But it gives you the basic concepts of how to be found online, which then of course later on you can transfer and use that for your clients. I cannot tell you how invaluable it is for me as an employer to see someone who put in the work and the training to learn SEO. So again, this is just a skill that you can carry throughout your business, throughout your career. That's why it's one of the courses that I really recommend. Now, other than SEO training, another skill that I really recommend that you dive into, and this is actually a free resource, I forgot I had this on my list as a free resource for you, is just Canva training. Canva itself has a whole learn dashboard where you can learn a ton of really good basic graphic skills if you don't have any, and some advanced skills on how to use Canva. Of course, since it is on their platform, it is going to be you primarily using their platform, but it will give you a really good background on where to get started on your graphic skills. Again, why would you need to learn this as a virtual assistant? It's because a lot of the time you might be creating graphics, you might be creating, not for social media, it could be you creating graphics for your client to be able to understand a concept, or for your client to give to their own clients. So having a good background and graphic skills that you keep developing as you keep growing is going to be so powerful for you, and is going to be an advantage for you as you start becoming a virtual assistant. Now, another book that I really recommend, especially if you are someone who likes marketing or you want to just learn the concepts of marketing, is the book Influence by Robert Cialdini. Now, this book is one of my favorites as a marketer myself. It's one of the books that really helped me understand what marketing was, how to influence people, which is the title of the book, is Influence. It gives you concepts basically of how you can move people forward to do what it is that you want, and not in a manipulative way. Basically, it gives you a lot of science of how a human's brain would work if given a particular situation. So for example, a really good one is authority. Because you guys see that I have 8,000 subscribers, probably more by the time you watch this video, that is me establishing my authority. When I did my intro today, when I said I've been working from home since I was 15 years old, and now run my own outsourcing company, that's me establishing my authority, that I actually know what I'm talking about to influence you guys to keep watching. See? So that's why Influence is one of my favorite books to read as a marketer, because then you start seeing it everywhere. You start seeing it in other people's marketing, how they do certain things. And as a virtual assistant, it's going to be so important for you to be able to have that perspective as you're working with your client. Now, another book that I really recommend that you study, and this is more for your self-development, for the way that you're thinking, is the book Atomic Habits. Now, Atomic Habits is one of my favorite reads this year, actually. I just literally finished it the first half of this year. And it's one of those books that I think a lot of people who start working from home really need to read. And the biggest reason is when you work from home, you need to have habits to keep you going. And I already have a full video on habits that you need to have when you're working from home. But that book will give you like different ways that you can think about, okay, how can I actually build a habit that carries over for a long time? How do I create a habit that actually makes me a better person? Because for me, my own habits, my daily routine, my night routine, make me me. It helps me check in on myself and make sure that I actually get things done when they need to get done. So that's why I really highly recommend reading that book. Like I said, I did just read it this year, but I've had my morning and evening habits for about a good 5-6 years now. But reading that book kind of gave me a really good perspective on, yeah, if you work from home, it's a little bit harder if you don't have an actual system on how to do certain things. And that book gives you that good framework of what that system could look like. Now, one of the biggest books that I know will help you as a virtual assistant develop that mindset, develop that ethic, develop that love for your work or what you do, is the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Now, I recommend that book mostly because it is a book on entrepreneurship. It is a book on how to think about business in a successful way. So it gives you, again, a really good concept, a really good background on E-Myth, which is entrepreneurial myth, of what are the things that people usually expect when it comes to being an entrepreneur, what are the three different archetypes of an entrepreneur, 3 different personalities as you get started, and also how to think, like I said, about business. And if you're a virtual assistant who has a really good concept of how an entrepreneur's minds work, then you are already a level above other virtual assistants who have no idea what this could look like. You are giving yourself an edge by studying this book because, like I said, you get the behind the scenes peek of what it's like to start a business, to run and grow a business, and what it looks like to fail it. That's why for me, I try to reread that book myself, mostly because a lot of the concepts will change as I change, as I have different mindset or made mistakes or succeeded in something. Now again, make sure to go through the description to find the courses and the books that I just recommended, and let me know in the comments below which books have you read, which books are you going to read, because I put it in this list. And if you guys still haven't, make sure to hit that thumbs up button right there so I know that these are the kind of videos that you guys want to see. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. And you guys can check out those playlists right here and the latest video right here. And I hope you guys have an awesome day. Remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!